taking a little road trip to Llandeilo, a pretty historic town on the north bank of the River Towy. I'm still in my plaster cast, so I'm with Harry. Our plans to have a little wander around town before doing a circular walk to Llandeilo Castle. We walked into town from a nearby woods and crossed the Towy. This river beach reminded me of some of the ones we saw in Portugal. I didn't take much footage in Llandeilo itself because there was traffic running through, but it's a beautiful town with lots of independent shops, loads of cafes and places to eat, and a lot of churches. I love some of these old buildings. They were really lovely to look at. The town's named after the Saint Llandeilo, who was a 6th century bishop who lived at the same time as Saint David. His body's said to have risen 3 times, and he's buried in 3 different places. I love this bandstand in Penland Park. Just look at the views. I could just stood here forever watching those views. Just absolutely stunning. The Welsh countryside is just so beautiful, and it's still so green despite this heat wave. It's absolutely glorious just standing there and looking out. I was a little bit nervous when we entered Castle Woods, but I needn't have worried. After all the gorgeous weather, the ground underfoot was really dry and not at all slippery. The dappled light was absolutely stunning though. I miss these old ancient woods and places. This is actually Llandeilo Church, the burial place of the last Lord Llandeilo. I love these tiny forgotten churches which are dotted around the Welsh countryside. So peaceful and beautiful here. Regular worship ceased here in 1961, and anything valuable was removed to St Tyler's Church in Llandeilo for safekeeping. Perhaps I should take this moment to say I'm not a Welsh speaker, so I apologise for any mangling of the language. And then it was on to the highlight of the walk for me, which was the actual castle itself. Llandeilo Castle must be one of the most spectacular surviving medieval castles in Wales, and I'd never even heard of it till today. Unlike more famous Welsh castles like Caerphilly and Carmarthenshire Castle, which were built by Norman lords to control the borderlands between England and Wales, Llandeilo was built in the 12th century to protect and symbolise the power of the native Welsh princes, in this case, Rhys ap Gruffydd. Can you imagine a better location for a defensive stronghold? It's an absolutely amazing place, and there were a lot of people walking around actually. We were really surprised. Despite having my arm in a sling and my plaster cast, I did pluck up the courage to walk up the steps, hanging onto the rail, and inspect the views. I didn't go with Harry initially, but he said, you've got to come up and look at the views. So up I went, and these are the views, and I think you'll agree they're absolutely amazing. I'm sorry about the smudge on the right-hand side of the screen. I didn't know it was there. It was there until I uploaded the videos. I've cleaned the camera now, so hopefully it won't happen again. You can actually, probably not now, but you could at one point see the new cycle path between Carmarthen and Llandeilo. I'm sure we'll walk it at one point. There's no parking actually here at the castle. You have to park in the nearby Newton House, and it costs £5. But the lack of parking does actually mean that there's no charge to go into the castle, which was great. It also means there's a lot of people, as we were walking back, there's a lot of people coming in the opposite direction. But it was great. It absolutely stunning place, and obviously a beautiful July day. It did make the walk here worthwhile. I love castles. After the castle, it was back to the woods, where there were some amazing, spectacular trees. They call them veteran trees, actually, because they're so big. They were oak, sycamore and birch trees. Look at the trunk on this one. To me, that looks exactly how a child would draw a tree trunk. They do actually look like legs going into the soil, don't they? They're amazing. Another thing that there seemed to be an abundance of in these woods was what they call rot holes. It's where a branch falls off or dies and a hole emerges. I mean, they were quite incredible. This one here now, you could sort of almost, well, I couldn't because I'm too fat, but you could feel as though you could squeeze into it. It was just amazing. It reminded me of some of the books I used to love as a child, where small mammals like rabbits and mice lived in tree trunks. And then it was back to Llandeilo, through the fields. Look at that beautiful grassy footpath. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they were everywhere? I think this was the lake for Newton House. We didn't actually choose to go back through the main path. We walked back up through some more woods. Plenty of woods on today's walk, that was for sure. This was actually quite impressive carving. There were quite a lot of carvings in the woods. And that is Newton House from a distance, our first glimpse. I don't know much about it. It's a National Trust property, and I think it was £12 to go in. We are planning to join the National Trust and get an annual membership for both of us, so we will go back and explore. But we didn't feel like paying £24 just to go in for like 10 minutes, and we were starving. We didn't take packed lunch with us today, so we headed back to Llandeilo, where we had lunch in a lovely restaurant called Flo's. Used to be an old pub, I think. Harry was a bit shocked by the price of beer. Well, I think he's still getting used to the price of beer in the UK. The food was actually inexpensive, but the beer, his beer and my Coca-Cola came to over £10, which was a real shock to him. We are very, very, very unused to paying so much for beer. Anyway, we'll get used to it, and we do love the Welsh countryside, and we're thoroughly, thoroughly enjoying exploring Carmarthenshire. So please come back, and hopefully we'll see some more of this beautiful county together. Bye.